Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Bio 360. Today we are going to discuss about digestion and absorption NCERT line by line for NEET. So let's get started with our video. As we know, food is the basic requirements of all living organisms. Without food, no living organisms can survive. The major components of our food are carbohydrates, proteins and fats, which are required in very much large quantities by our body, whereas vitamins and minerals, they are required in small quantities. Food provides us energy and organic materials, which is very much essential for growth and repair of our tissues. And the water we take plays a very much crucial role in our life, in the human being and every organism. It plays a very much important role in metabolism or metabolic processes, and it also prevents our body from dehydration. Biomacromolecules which is present in our food cannot be utilized by our body directly in their original forms, so they should be converted or broken down into simple substance so that our body can absorb it. This process of conversion of complex food substance into simple absorbable forms is known as digestion. Digestion is carried out majorly by two types or two methods, that is, first one is mechanical method and second one is biochemical method. Digestive system. We will be studying digestive system in two parts. First one is alimentary canal and second one is associated glands. First of all, we will see alimentary canal. So alimentary canal begins with anterior opening known as mouth and it ends with posteriorly with anus. Mouth leads into buccal cavity or oral cavity, and our oral cavity has number of teeth and muscular tongue. Each tooth is embedded in socket of jawbone. This type of attachment is known as thecodont. So as we can see, this is our jaw, socket of our jaw in which our tooth is fixed. This type of dentation is known as thecodontic dentation. Whereas in majority of mammals, two sets of teeth are present. This type of teeth is known as diphyodontic dentation. The first one, which arises in the childhood, they are temporary milk teeth or deciduous teeth, which later on are replaced by permanent or adult teeth. So we will call this as diphyodont. Di means twice. Adult human being has 32 permanent teeth, which includes incisors, which we can represent by I, canines by C, premolars by P, M and molars by M. So we can see there are four types of teeth. So this type of dentation we called as heterodontic dentation. Now we will see what is meant by dental formula. This is dental formula of adult human being. So you have to remember this, it is very much important. And now we will see what is dental formula. So now imagine it's our mouth and it's our upper jaw, it's our lower jaw, and we will divide our mouth into two parts. As we know, it's our upper jaw and it's our lower jaw. Now you can see the teeth present in half of our upper jaw and half of our lower jaw. This represents this dental formula. Now the hard chewing surface present on our teeth is known as enamel, which helps in mastication of our food. The tongue is freely movable muscular organ attached at the floor of oral cavity by frenulum. You can observe it under your tongue. It's a fold of skin which you can feel by touching it. The upper surface of tongue has small projections, they are known as papillae, some of which bears taste buds. You can see this is our tongue, on that small projections are present. These are papillae, on some of which taste buds are present. Oral cavity leads into short pharynx. which serves as common passage for food and air. Esophagus and tracheae, which is known as windpipe, opens into pharynx. Esophagus and trachea are present below pharynx, which opens into pharynx. Cartilaginous flap called as epiglottis prevents entry of food into glottis. Glottis is the opening of windpipe. During swallowing, esophagus is a long, thin tube which extends posteriorly, passing through neck, thorax, diaphragm, and leads into J-shaped bag-like structure known as stomach. A muscular sphincter that is known as gastroesophageal sphincter regulates the opening of esophagus into stomach. That's why we call it as gastroesophageal. Means this is a guard between our esophagus and our stomach. It prevents the acid present in the stomach to enter into the esophagus. You can imagine it here. This is our esophagus and it's our stomach. In between this is a sphincter. This is known as gastroesophageal sphincter, which is present in between them, and it prevents the entry of acid from the stomach into the esophagus. Stomach is located on upper left portion of abdominal cavity, and it has 4 portions, major parts. The first one is cardiac portion, into which esophagus opens, and next is fundic region, and then later body, that is the main central region, and then later pyloric region, which opens into first part of small intestine. Now you can see all these 4 regions in this diagram. First of all, the opening of esophagus into cardiac stomach, then later fundic stomach, then later main central body, then later pyloric stomach. Pyloric stomach opens into first part of small intestine, that is duodenum. Small intestine is distensible into 3 regions. The first one is C-shaped duodenum. Second one is long coiled middle portion known as jejunum, and then later highly coiled ileum. The opening of stomach into duodenum is guarded by pyloric sphincter, and ileum opens into large intestine. You can see the opening of stomach into small intestine is guarded by a sphincter known as pyloric sphincter, because it is present in the pyloric part of our stomach. Ileum opens into large intestine. Large intestine contains cecum, colon, and rectum. Cecum is a blind sac which hoists the symbiotic microorganisms. A narrow finger-like projection arises from cecum. This is known as vermiform appendix or appendix, which is a vestigial organ in human beings. You can see this is the whole intestine. You can see first one is oral cavity, then later pharynx, then later esophagus, then later stomach, then later small intestine starts, that is first part is duodenum, then later jejunum. So we have got numbering wrong here, correct it. Stomach is on 4th number, then later duodenum is on 5th number, then later jejunum on 6th number, then ileum on 7th number. Now large intestine starts. First one is colon, then later rectum, and then anus. The descending portion opens into rectum, which opens out through anus, which is the exit of our alimentary canal. Wall of our alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum is made up of 4 layers. They are serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. The outermost is serosa, then later muscularis, then later submucosa and then mucosa. Serosa is outermost layer and it is made up of thin mesothelium. It is also known as epithelium of visceral organs because it is present on visceral organs, and it is also made up of some connective tissues. Then muscularis is made up of smooth muscles. Usually they are arranged outer longitudinal muscles and inner circular muscles, and at some regions oblique muscles are also present, example in our stomach. The next layer is submucosa, which is formed by loose connective tissue containing nerves, blood and lymphatic vessels. Duodenum has some glands which is present in its submucosa, and they are known as Brenner's glands. They produce mucus. The innermost layer lining the lumen of alimentary canal is mucosa. Now you have to remember its sequence as you can see its diagram here. The outermost is serosa, then later second one is muscularis, then later submucosa, and then last one is mucosa. This layer forms inner irregular foldings known as rugae in stomach and small finger-like foldings known as villi in small intestine. The cells lining the villi have numerous microscopic projections. They are known as microvilli. These give brush border appearance. This modification increases the surface area enormously. If they ask what is the main role of microvilli means, you can say it increases the surface area enormously, and it also produces some secretions. Villi are supplied with a network of capillaries and a large lymphatic vessel. This is known as lacteal. Now you can see here it is our villi in which a lymphatic vessel is present. It is known as lacteal, and also there are network of blood vessels. Mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which secrete mucus which helps in lubrication. Mucosa also forms glands in stomach. They are known as gastric glands, and they also form scripts in between the base of villi. In intestine they are known as scripts of lubricant. All the 4 layers show modifications in different parts of our alimentary canal. Hope you liked this video. We will discuss remaining part in next videos.